Some people like going shopping for clothes, shoes, golf clubs. I like going through piles of scraps and letting my mind roam free. Somewhere in this pile of potential lies a truck. You just can't shake some clients. Here we are, back to Bill's place. He's telling me he's having some trouble with his big red international truck. Bill and I discussed this truck last year, and we never got around to doing anything with it. You know, I've always liked it from the minute I saw it. It's just one of those things, like, what guy doesn't like a big old truck?
I've been trying to sell it and not really had any luck. I love it a lot. Nobody else seems to think it's that cool. These 1953 survivors are so rare. They're always beat up, torn up, wrecked. And when I saw this, I went, oh my gosh, look how original this darn thing is. And I guess I'm kind of hooked on the international heavy-duty name, and I don't understand why people aren't as enthusiastic as I am. I thought it would sell the first day.
You just need someone just like you,
yeah,
and
exactly.
They'll buy it.
Yeah.
You know, I love the huge factor of the whole thing. It's got kind of a Mad Max Road Warrior feel to it, but maybe that's a turnoff to some folks.
Well, when I found this, I was so excited. Look at the cab, Ian. It's cherry. I mean, original cherry. You just don't find it.
That's right, it's weathered. But
you know, the doors, everything works perfect. Look at the interior.
You know, sometimes when you have something that's so close to your heart, your passion, it's kind of hard to see how things are from the outside. Some people may be a little bit put off by the sheer amount of spider webs. You know, it looks a little like a haunted house in there. I think it needs some kind of cosmetic upgrade, you know, like the typical used car salesman. He's gonna freshen it up, and I think we can move it.
Ian always has just a lot of ideas. And I'm anxious to get started, watch it go through the Ianize process.
I got a couple ideas for this right off the bat, because, you know, who doesn't like a vintage pickup truck, right? So this is not presenting itself as a vintage pickup truck. This looks a little bit like a horror movie. I think we can remedy it.
Horror movie, shame on you.
The great news about this truck is that it drives perfectly. You know, I drove it around last time we checked it out, and knowing Bill, you know, all of his stuff is really well maintained. For me, that's a great starting point. You know, we can concentrate on the aesthetics. The mechanical aspects are right on point. Well, I think firstly, we're gonna do a complete makeover. You know, I don't wanna get into a restoration of the cab. I think the running gear's solid. I think the cab is solid. We just wanna change up the look of it, you know, make it look more updated and more usable. You know, make it look a little more stylized instead of just this big utility thing.
Look at that window. Is that just the coolest thing?
For sure.
You know? And if you got rid of all this headache rack, it would really be cool.
I think that's the whole issue with this truck is, you know, everything that was added to it was purely purpose-built. And, you know, that's taken away from the look of the cool international truck.
Yeah. He threw out the idea about kind of making a big vintage pickup. I love that. He did great on my other internationally built.
Among other things, Bill is a serious international truck guy. He's got another big rig where we went all the way. If we can get this one to exude the same vibe, you know, then we're on a good path. The main thing about this truck is when you walk up on it, it's screaming, hey, drive me, you know. People are probably running from that other truck as it comes down the road. This truck has that classic old school international body. It's just covered with tons of steel fabrication. You know, it's a work truck and it's been working.
Well, you know, I was looking to sell that to recoup a little money.
Sure, I get it.
It didn't happen yet.
That's the thing. I know you're not looking to spend a grip of money. You've got so much potential here, you know. There's stuff all over the place. So I think we can use a lot of the stuff you got.
That's a good idea.
Clean up the yard. The wife will be happy.
Absolutely.
You'll be one truck less in the driveway,
That'll
guaranteed. This project is all about what we can find around Bill's place. I like the challenge of using what's around. Bill has all kinds of material here, so we really don't know how it's gonna turn out. Just gonna pick and choose and make something good. First thing I want to do is get this rig back to the shop. I want to tear off all that heavy metal, get it down to a blank slate, see what we're dealing with. I know you're both very concerned with quality control, etc., but I've got a bunch of stuff to do. We don't even need any debate at this point. I don't want to hear it. I'm not sure what I'm going to do back here 100%. What I do know is the heavy stuff, this massive trailer hitch, doesn't need it. Doesn't need this trailer hitch, and it doesn't need that headache rack. My goal is to get all of this baggage off the rear of the truck. Just get it down to the chassis, and then I can build from there. Hi-ya! And this is a really heavy, filthy job. But come on, who doesn't like cutting stuff up? Change is tough. These dogs love cars, and all they hear is destruction. So for my next act, I'll remove an exhaust pipe. This exhaust has to go. It's not fitting my vision of the final outcome. That one ain't going in the trash. Excuse me. Now we're going on to the thing I'm looking most forward to getting rid of. This headache rack is no bueno. Winner! The truck is looking good. It's much lighter feeling. This is the blank slate I saw from the start. Now the cab is really showing itself off. This is awesome. That big rack was hiding all this cool sheet metal, and fortunately, protected it. No dents, no rust. This truck has tons of possibility. It's looking good, and I got some ideas brewing. My vision for this project is to bring this vehicle into more of like a pickup truck realm than a big commercial truck. Now that the rear of the truck stripped down, I want to go up to Bill's and see what kind of material we can find. Well, nothing starts a good project like a good treasure hunt.
When I collected all this stuff, I thought, oh, well, I can use this for that, or pretty specific about it. Well, Ian, he's different. And I don't even ask him what he's gonna do. Don't wanna know what he's gonna do. Just wanna watch.
Oh, you got bigger sheets under here. Nice little mouse nest, look at this. I know there's gonna be a large area in the bed of this truck that we're gonna have to fill in. So these big metal sheets are gonna be exactly what I need. Like a diamond in the rough. Nothing says truck like diamond plate, so I think it's a good start for, sheathing materials. Let's see what else we can find. I know this rack here, and I know you got some stuff. Mainly what I'm interested in is these long lengths of tubing. Any project's gonna need some structure, so this is heavy truck stuff. If you're not married to them, I can use them.
All this stuff is available.
Wait a second, you got bed frames here.
Got bed frames.
I need a bed frame. I have a mattress and a box spring.
You're in the right spot.
I just bought a new place, and I pretty much need everything. So Bill's got these 2 bed frames, so I'm in luck. You think it'll do a queen size?
I think it's adjustable.
Oh, yes, yeah. Oh, look at these steps. What are these from?
Those are, I don't know what they're from.
I know what they're for. Look at that.
Yeah.
You got a whole truck sitting here. It's just in pieces.
Ian kind of looked around and he said, oh, you got this, you got that. You got almost enough for the build. I didn't think I had that much junk laying around here.
What's that from?
I don't remember.
Typical. We've just scratched the surface of Bill's treasure. Many a project has been fueled by the treasures of this wild land. Bill's upper 40 has got some stuff. Now this is where the magic happens.
My wife calls this my junk pile. I call it my treasure pile. Ian's right on board with me.
Kind of like the kid in the proverbial candy store. We're getting up here and I don't know where to look first. Is it behind that truck, behind the tree, on the rack, in the box? It's everywhere. I don't know what we're getting into. Oh, and look at these things. What are these tube frames?
Shopping cart storage.
Oh, of course, okay, I get it right. They pull in here.
Yep.
But look at this length and the turn down, that's like a truck bed side, right?
You know, Ian is a metal man and an artist, and he looks for shapes, but shopping cart corrals?
These are good, they're straight. What else you got? I recognize these. These are 55 Oldsmobile doors. I wonder where they came from.
Yeah, I have a recollection of that as well.
You know, if there's anybody out there that is converting their two-door into a four-door, we've got the parts.
I don't think anybody's gonna do that,
What?
but
No, see, the four doors are in the new style now. Hey, if four-door Oldsmobiles ever come back into fashion, this guy's sitting on a gold mine. So I remember this thing. This is the same year as what we're working on now, right?
yep.
It's a little dinged right there, but at least it's a bumper. We could start with that if we need it. What's going on in here?
You want an inline
it's
six-cylinder with the...
It's the rare factory 50 pine cone option. Look at that. In addition to the piles of stuff, Bill has a couple of storage containers as well. Behind door number 1, I find these cool old cabinets. And the thing is, I'm not counting anything out yet. We're looking at all the potential. We are merely priming the palette of potential. So everything's going to the shop. Well, we've got quite an assortment of goodness, you know, between the metal, the diamond plate, shopping cart rack, 2 cabinets, we're on a roll. I'll get back to the lab and start configuring.
I'm gonna be very excited to watch this project and see what he does.
Mush, mush.
He's a one of a kind.
We got this. This is a really nice change of pace from the other projects I've been working on lately. Instead of building this full custom fantasy show car, I'm challenged to just bring up the natural look of this old truck. I did yank that bumper off the other truck, and I also got some good rusty steel, all that I could find. That front grille, just like the rear end, is just way overkill. I'd really like to show off the international styling instead of this big, angry-looking death bumper. First task at hand is to get rid of this massive front bumper. Yeah! Move it, move it, move it, move it, move it, move it. This bumper is really heavy. You know, I'm used to sacrificing for my projects, but I don't want to lose a toe if this bumper comes crashing down. Watch the paint. Well, now it's starting to look a little more like a vintage truck, and not some road menace. The stock height on that truck, the frames were right here, which is cool, it makes sense, but I'd like to see it a little bit lower. The whole idea here is to make the truck appear closer to the ground. This international bumper could work with some modifications, but you know, I just want to explore the other options, you know, maybe just do something a little more full custom. This still just looks way like utility bumper. What if I took this and just turned it? Yeah. That's cool. Brings it down a little, looks lightweight. It actually makes the fenders look really exaggerated now, which is something I wasn't expecting. So far, my assistants aren't impressed. I get you can't just slap a tube on the front of a truck and call it a bumper. I mean, come on, they should know by now. I'm not gonna just stop here. Make that angle like that. The old persuader. Yeah, so you can see, it's gotta come back just a bit more. Just cut right through that and trim it a little more. Not only do the bumper ends need to match the front of the truck, they need to match the other side of the bumper so that it's symmetrical. This is the process of trial and error. You just keep cutting and bending until the angle's right. It's looking good to me, sir. It's gonna be fine. Next step of fabrication is to trim off the bumper end. As strange as it seems, this random piece of bent aluminum is gonna be the gauge. I mean, I seriously just picked this up out of the corner. You need to be zen, in tune with the universe and beyond, to allow yourself to be open to this happy accident thing, you know? Or sometimes maybe you just find a piece of bent molding in the corner and it seems to work. That's the angle of the dangle. You saw it, man. Don't act like it's a surprise. So there's something in this area that I'm really thinking about. See how this and this, it's like it needs something here. Fortunately, Bill's place isn't too far from the shop. I want to take another look at his pipe rack and found some really good square stainless steel tube that I think I can make work. It's exactly what it needed. It's subtle, but it helps. Get the end caps on and it really finishes it off. But right now it's conservative. You can see that's a clean bumper. I want this whole truck to come together as one piece, so for now it's a work in progress. I got some other ideas that are really going to help with the look of the front end. Bill told me all my tools just got too small. This proves it. The old 12-foot breaker bar. With a big truck comes big parts, and this truck's got them. I want to soften up the suspension. Without any weight on this truck, it rides like a freaking jackhammer. I mean, you can see me on the front, and my girth doesn't even move this thing. I've lowered a lot of cars, but the hardware on this behemoth is massive. So it probably hasn't been disassembled since 1955. Who knows what we're getting into? All we gotta do is figure out how to lift this behemoth. Got my team assembled. I may not be known for my safety precautions, but I'm not taking any chances with this one. I've got every jack in the neighborhood under this thing. I've got countless safety measures in place. And that is one thing to be said for Bill. He knows his trucks. This is in great shape. I mean, there's no rot. Look inside here. You always find rot down in here. None. It's a good old truck. So let's see how the heck we take these leaf springs out. First up is to remove the shackle bolts. It's just old and temperamental, like me. Once the shackles are removed, it's all about determining the right number of springs to remove. Once I reassemble it, there's only a trial and error, so if it's not right, I gotta do it all again. And just in case you gotta put it back together, front is front. And anytime you remove springs from the spring pack, you're going to have shackle bolts that are longer than you need. So the remedy to that is to just cook yourself up a set of full custom shackle spacers. So this is perfect, this square tube. That'll never crush. Stainless steel with that thick wall. No complaints. I'm glad this moment was captured for all to see, because it's not every day he approves of my technique. Yeah, see, so right now, they're even, so that bolt, so this is plenty of freaking grab. All right, let's reset this whole pile of nonsense to the other side. Not only am I hoping to see this front suspension lowered, like that raked look, but I'm hoping to get some action out of the front suspension. All right, that's that. Before it was super stiff, I want to see this thing moving. Going down. That was ready. Oh, yeah. Totally. It's exactly what it needed. It's not crazy down, but it's tucked. Oh, yeah. Look at that, see? Now it rides like a vehicle should. This is the suspension I was looking for, but really it's about the ride comfort, so I'm going to take it for a cruise. Even just pulling out of the shop, I can tell it's a lot smoother than it was before. When you have a truck that's this heavy duty, high pressure tires, it's just going over everything like they're steps. So now it's got a little sponge in it. What a difference. You get all that bulk off the vehicle, you set it down, all of a sudden it's a hot rod. It's the smell of success. Front view of the truck is really improved, but I got one more idea that I think will step it up. When you see a big rig going down the road and it's got a visor, you know it means business. So I feel like that really helps give it a good look. It's either like this or like that. I like that, it's a little more serious. I'm not able to just apply this thing to the vehicle. You gotta hump up there like you're riding an elephant. Good exercise. Primary factor in creating this visor is how the material will bend without any tooling. I want a nice formed shape, and that's why I'm using this soft but very rigid plastic as a template. That'll work. I have a sheet of aluminum that will be just the right call for this visor. This is a reasonably difficult shape to make simply because it's symmetrical. The different PVC sizes are helping me to try to form the shape I'm looking for. Just like the top corner of that cap, you see it's a dome, and it's going to require a dome shape to turn that corner. This is an anything goes process. You know, I don't know what result will be offered. I'm just going for it. It's just high spot right there. The hardest part about this is the symmetry. As each fold comes down, they have to look the same. And from the front of the truck, you don't want it to be doing the roller coaster. You want it to look right. It's making the visor appear way more crooked than it is because the light set is on this side of the roof. The biggest problem I was having getting this visor equal left and right was that as much as I put it on the table and envisioned it, every time it went on the truck, it looked like it was off to the side. I just couldn't figure it out until I really studied the placement of the marker lights, and they're over here. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start trimming this one and pulling it down. So those 2 points are fixed. I'm just gonna pull this down to match. So there you have it, one full custom visor. This is exactly what I was hoping to see. It took that big arched up window and makes it look a little more aggressive. This looks like it could just be a little more graceful in that this line will probably just come up like that. Maybe in the end I'll put a little center bracket on it, but right now, that's perfect. We got other things to deal with.
Aha! So you have been working.
Yeah, a couple revisions, nothing too major, but change it up a little bit.
Wow.
Surprise, surprise.
I love the stance. It looks like you lowered it, how much?
It's gotta be 3 or 4 inches, I forgot.
Yeah, because it was way above the tire. I love that old truck.
Yeah.
And you've just made it better.
Glad to see Bill react so positively. We literally had no discussion as to what I was gonna do.
This is like all your projects. You do them and then I want to keep them. The idea was to sell this.
I'm hearing whisperings from Bill about maybe trying to hold on to this thing, you know? The big plan was to sell it, but now it looks so good, maybe he's buying. I don't know, maybe it's gonna stay home.
I got a present for you for this.
Right on.
It'll help the look of your stance.
Uh-huh.
And let me show you.
Cool. This is the kind of thing that really just explains this car or truck addiction perfectly. Oh, wow, these are cool. These are perfect. Yes,
Just a little bling.
Good deal. You can't just stop halfway, right? And Bill's a man with a passion. He steps up every time and brings the good stuff.
These are 22.5 rims, but the tires are a little smaller. They're for a motorhome, actually. I'm working on something for the back, but I'm not gonna share that yet. Want to get them on there?
Yeah, for sure. Mostly what this does is just puts a more modern look. And the truck's lowered, those big truck wheels, they just look stuffed in there. So it goes from like this weird pudgy cartoon look to more like a performance vehicle. Totally cool. Changes it dramatically.
Yeah. Beautiful. Well, I sure love what you've done so far. I'm anxious to see what you do for the back.
Much like the front, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Front's looking good. The rear is up next. I got an old shopping cart corral, some rusty old metal. What could possibly go wrong? This is another of Bill's big old truck projects.
Hey.
You know he's an international guy. Next up is the rear of the truck. I got my friend Dominic coming in to give me a hand. I met Dominic through Bill, so he's familiar with the project, and he's a great fabricator. That's exactly what I need to get this thing assembled. So the thing is, just like with the ominous view of this truck, you can't just take things as they appear at face value, you know. You've got this big, crusty truck. You've got a shopping cart corral. I think we can make a fine tow vehicle out of all this stuff.
Well, I'm gonna take your word for it. We'll see.
I pulled off some stuff in the past.
You got some style, that's for sure.
By this point, I'm used to people being skeptical of my ideas.
It's a shopping cart corral. Like, how is that even gonna work on a tow truck?
Dominic has fallen right into place with that, and yet again, I do my best to explain. So that's the back of the cab. Where's the back of the truck frame?
Oh, that's perfect. All right.
There's a method to the madness.
Yeah, all right.
Ever since I found these gems up on Bill's Hill, I've had visions of grandeur forming in my head. So the idea is just put some walls on this thing and just wing it. You know?
Okay.
We've got that and those.
Okay.
And how it looks, you know, it will be determined as it develops.
All right.
This is a match made in heaven. Now all that's left is to put it all together.
So we're just gonna come in here and draw a line. We're gonna get rid of this whole piece of tubing, and it'll start new with our shopping cart corral.
I think so. Every time you go to the supermarket from now on, you're gonna be thinking,
Yeah.
truck beds everywhere, full
Yeah.
of shopping carts.
Exactly.
Maybe you could start with a grinder on these things, and I'll just plasma cut through the sheet,
Okay.
and then we'll just pop each side off. So if you work on one side, and I'll work on this side. This is the same mode of operation as the front of the truck. Get rid of the ugly and just make it better. Beyond the time-saving aspect of using these corrals, you know, I think the finish of them actually is appropriate for this rustic look. Does that work for you?
It works.
I could see Dominic has turned the corner on this project. You know, he's 100% on board with this concept, but of course, the #1 naysayer is always close by. He's never seen anything like this. Look at that. He's just like, what did I just see? Because it's a pickup truck, we're gonna have bed sides. I got this rusty steel plate, and we're gonna trace it to fit, plasma cut it, and weld it on. As much as I like working alone, to get the thing finished, you need extra help. It doesn't mean I got a casting call. Very selective, only the elite. This round really looks good with the roundness of the truck, but then we'll take that square tube and we'll make that an element for all the trimmings, right from the front to the back.
Same as the front bumper.
Yeah, I think we'll just cover that. See, the cool factor of this concept is it's not just flat, you know, it's dimensional. So you're seeing this round tube and backed up is a flat wall. So it really looks dimensional, as well as the color contrast. As crusty as it is, it's got a cool look. It's not looking like a cart corral anymore, is it?
No.
This is like a freaking work truck. There's still a few loose ends in this rear section, but we've made a ton of progress in establishing the cool look of this bed.
It's gonna turn into the perfect hot rod working man's farm truck.
So this old switcheroo with the shopping cart corral, you ain't seen nothing yet.
All right.
I'm going to Bill's tomorrow. We got a whole new pile of junk coming in. This Giant International is really starting to take on the look of a pickup. My typical process is just winging it, and this build is no different. As much as I really like these medical cabinets I got from Bill's pile, they're just not really jiving with the overall aesthetic of this truck. I was trying to get some kind of a tool cabinet in the side of this truck. I would love to just install them, but they're too tall. We'd have to cut the top shelf off, and we'll have to cut the legs off.
The styles are both there, but I don't think they mesh.
Yeah. I think these medical cabinets and I have a future together. Just not on this project. We experimented and went on with the fabrication on the bedsides, you know, kind of a fleet side look. We added these lower panels and it just wasn't working. It looks like a toy truck, like a giant toy truck. As big as it is, it looks 3 times bigger with that sail on the bottom.
Right.
No bueno, it's like the worst idea. Sometimes you shoot and score, sometimes you shoot and miss. You know, that's the whole process here. Just making an effort, seeing what sticks, and moving on. So basically went back to the original design. And I thought it needed more, but it didn't. So what I did was started building on the rear just to kind of take a rear 3/4 view. This is the bare bones of the operation. You know, all of this is going to get sheeted back in. You know, this is all just the fabrication to be super strong. And then to finish off the visual part of it, I'm going to put a small tailgate on it, maybe around this tall. Bill had a whole ton of this stainless steel angle iron, and it's too good to pass up. This tailgate needs to function like any other tailgate on a truck, but it's got to fit the style of what we've been building so far. I don't need it to fall all the way down. I'm gonna want it to fall pretty much level, horizontal. Like any other truck, I need something else to hold the tailgate horizontal for loading and unloading. Fortunately, in Bill's pile of stuff, I spotted a crusty old chain. So, you can see that thing is aged to perfection. Sometimes you need a piece of chain that's been sitting in a puddle for 15 years. Today was the day. It's a trip. It's got a funky beat, and I can really bug out to it. All right, hopefully I learned how to measure. Man, that is one burly tailgate. It's just like every other old farm truck. You put one more piece of chain right there. Tailgate looks good. The last fabrication detail on the rear of this is to just sheath in this area below it where the license plate's gonna go. So weird how this works. That just did exactly what that side panel did yesterday. You're on a roll, you're trucking through it. I don't like it. Right from the start, I was thinking that this was just gonna have a plate covering it so you wouldn't see the rear suspension, and as soon as it was in place, all the plans changed. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but you got this kind of, very mechanical structure. You're seeing the mechanical stuff, and then you come in there with this, and there it is, it's just a big slab wall. It's hard to describe how one little piece can change, this entire rear look of the vehicle, but just in looking at it, it makes a perfect example. I can be, impulsive. I can be impulsive. Come back and this whole thing's cut apart just because the license plate doesn't look right. The theme here is clearly less is more. I tore all that heavy metal off the truck trying to make this massive thing look a little bit lighter duty. Truck looks better by the lack of extra stuff. All right, so next course of action is to get this cab looking a little bit better. Nothing wrong with Christmas, but the red and green kind of keeps it pigeonholed. This vinyl sticker, it worked well for its previous life, so I will bring out my laser gun and I'm gonna laser them right off. Wow, if this is what the truck looked like when he put the stickers on, that's pretty wild. Now that I'm pulling these stickers off, I never really paid any mind to it, but there is a painted sign under here. There's a texture of brush strokes. I see an S. This is like an excavation project. We found the owner. We found Ray Dennison. If he was around today, I'd like to have a little talk with him about what this truck's been through. That way he knew when he came out of the bar at night which truck was his. It's like, I think there is some advantage to having a logo on the side of like a working truck. I'm just not sure that this one is right for the truck specifically. This green stripe is not helping the truck in any way. I think bringing it back to just one color is the ticket. The whole plan here is minimalist, so I sanded off this green stripe and in doing so, hit bare metal. I'm just gonna take some spray cans and lay it on there. Hopefully the color works. Truck's really coming together. Every little thing helps. I got one more idea that I think is really gonna cement it. This truck's getting real close, so I got one other trick in my bag of tricks. Scratch is an all-around car guy. He's an awesome painter, as well as a pinstriper, and he is definitely the traditional hot rodder. He's got his own idea and opinion on things, and somehow we coexist. Welcome home.
Oh, man.
Good to see you.
This thing is great. A little hot rod-ish.
A little bit.
But it's still a work truck.
Scratch is big into vintage, period-correct stuff, so this project is right up his alley.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's
so
it.
nice.
Yeah. My idea for this was, I like some kind of sign on the door. I love the script. Where does orange truck come from? Was it like an orange grove in Florida or something?
So every time I would go somewhere, people would just walk up to me, hey, is that your orange truck outside?
It's like
so
a
I'm
gold
like,
car.
I just wrote orange truck on the side of it so everybody would know that that's orange truck.
Perfect.
Aren't you glad I drove it today?
Yeah. I mean, yours is orange. What about like old red?
It's like old red or old red.
I like old, like with the little
The L and the
apostrophe, yeah. And I was thinking, I love this edge striping that you did on yours.
Yeah.
I definitely want that. Because before with the big grill, you didn't see this at all. So it's like, I love those little whiskers coming off.
Okay. There's all these like really nice accent lines here and here that should just be like highlighted a little bit. We have that belt line up there and stuff like this. And like you said, the whiskers here and here.
And also something that would be like a classy work truck. So you show up and you look respectable. It's not like all rockabillyed out or anything.
Yeah, yeah. It doesn't need to look like nonsense. It needs to look like a work truck.
My favorite thing is to work with other artists because if you try to instruct them, you're not going to get the maximum potential. So you got to let them roll their dice, do whatever they like, and then, kind of take it in. Do whatever you want. I got a couple errands to run. Could take all day. So I'm looking forward to what you do. Like I say, no demands, do your thing.
You don't want to talk about the...
Nope.
Okay.
I want to be surprised.
Artist freedom.
Yes. I'm looking forward to see how this pans out.
So right now I'm just kind of like brainstorming and then jotting down my ideas. I remember my uncles walking around with like a match in their mouth all the time. Maybe do the owl and then the little mark to the side could be a match. I kind of like that, like a little blue tip match with some fire coming off of it. With this, I'm trying to make it look old. If I would have painted that solid, 30 years from now, it would have faded like that. It's so good to work with Ian because he just trusts me and I can just do whatever I want. The first time I met Ian, I interviewed for a job to work for him. We kind of always stayed in touch. We were around the corner from each other. So when he needed pinstriping work, I was there to help. A little maroon drop shadow here, because I wanted it to be darker than the body. It needed that pop, Oh wow, yeah, that looks way better. So I'm just gonna do little accents around these edges here. Von Dutch is the modern day pinstriper, that he basically invented that. Somebody had messed up a gas tank and they wanted him to just kind of like outline it and like hide all the scratches. He just became more and more known for doing that, and that's where pinstriping kind of came from. Oh no. So they're coming to inspect my work. You wanna take a look at it? What do you think? Yeah, you like it? You like it. It looks like both of you like it. Do you love Uncle Scratchy or what? Oh, that's a yes.
Wow, they seem excited also. Exactly what it needed, just like it could have been that way. All of a sudden, it's a special truck. It had no identity, but now it's Old Red. Groovy, man.
Yeah.
I think Bill's gonna be real charged up. This little bit of paint work was exactly what it needed. I got a few more loose ends to wrap up, but I can't wait to get this thing over to Bill's and show him Old Red. Old Red is all wrapped up. This project's a bit different than my other ones simply because I didn't know what I had to do here. It would be way easy to go off the rails like I typically do, but fortunately I was able to keep it in check. If I drove it over here to Bill's, and there's one thing that Bill loves, it's old international trucks.
Wow, Ian, you've arrived.
Got a little change, looking a little different than it did last time.
Woo! You're another miracle.
Old Red at your service.
I saw Ian rolling in with that thing, and my first reaction was, now that's cool. The bumper, oh my gosh. The little sun visor, the tailgate, he redid the whole back of the truck, and the stance, he lowered the front. I mean, all of it was like, that's it, Ian, you did it.
My buddy Scratch, he put this signage on the door. There was signage before that was under that original sticker.
I love the signage on the side, Old Red. Yes, it's old, and yes, it's red. And then there's a little pinstriping. I love the subtle pinstripe.
Yeah, that was Scratch's idea. He was talking about wanting to keep it weathered like the rest of the thing.
Yep.
So that changes the whole truck, man. I mean, the stance and these freaking massive rear tires. One surprise that Bill brought over was these back rims. They are massive. I love the aluminum rims, but then when you brought in those big super singles in the back, it's like race car stuff. I mean, looking at it in the shop, you don't even get the vibe until it's outside.
It looks like a big pickup truck.
Yeah. The thing is, I saw this truck in a completely different light than what was presented. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, love it. I got plans already. You know, with a very limited budget and short time frame, a couple key choices really transformed the rig. You know, the first day when I was just taking stuff, I didn't know if I was going to end up with like a lot of aluminum features on this or whatever, but you know, literally you see everything came off of the hill and it just kind of melded together.
Those shopping cart holders or whatever you call them, I thought when you were taking those, I thought, what in the world is he gonna do with those? I made some comments about the shopping cart corrals, but they are absolutely perfect on there. Just a great, great job.
I know you're looking to get it out the door and sell it, so.
That was the plan. Like all your projects you do, always fall in love with them. I think I'm gonna keep it for a while and cruise it. Why wouldn't I cruise it around? Look at it. I'm excited. Now, I'm gonna bring my wife down and see if she's excited.
I know, that was the kid, that was part of the deal from the start. But all we did was move the stuff from the top of the hill back down to the bottom.
Yeah. How could you not love that truck?
You gotta drive this thing. It's the same truck, but it's way cooler. It actually has suspension now, so.
Well, I need some firewood. You wanna go with me and we'll pick it up?
Yeah.
You
cool
got
deal.
time?
Yeah, I got all day. That's what I
Okay.
do.
Let's
I hang
do it.
around. I know how these old dudes work. My dad's no different. It's like, oh yeah, while you're here, I got some work to do, some more work. Why don't you help me out with this task now? Got a little Getty up. Old Red is rehabbed, refitted with some new shoes and ready to cruise. You know, I always take something away from a project, and this is something that keeps repeating itself. Wheel and tire combination and the stance of the vehicle, sell it right away. You could see this project didn't even get sold. It got sold right back to its owner just on first impression, and that counts. Roll the credits. So this project was pretty conservative all in all, but I've got something lined up that should satisfy my appetite for the outrageous. If you know me, you know where I'm headed. The next project's gotta be wild. We started with this crusty old blue Dune buggy. The thing is, with a car this crazy, you never know how people are gonna react.
Right? Look, he's getting excited.
We are on the right track here. Looks like I got another wild adventure on my hands. We just have to one-up everything we've done so far. It all started when my friend Johnny and I came up with this idea for this wild 70s style show car.
Oh, wow, dude, how cool is that? If you see something you want, you know instantly, and that was instantly.
When Tom came in, the whole game got stepped up, and I got to work on the fabrication. Right there's your custom exhaust setup. Then Johnny and I went on the hunt for some paint inspiration. I mean, just a two-tone, you know, blue and white,
Yeah, see,
turquoise and white.
that works.
Yeah. After some back and forth, we settled on a classic look, but not without our own special touch.
You know, remember the old mud flaps? You know, the back off.
100%.
These damn vomits, back off.
We got a bunch of ideas floating around, but now it's time to make it happen. So this is what it's all been leading up to. We got this thing painted, not completely, this is the start of the process. This is the base coat. It's an Eastwood product, it's called Cruise Night Blue. This is the time we've been waiting for, a time when all the things start coming together and the dogs are on the edge of their seat. Last time you saw it, you know, Johnny and I came up with this paint scheme, so this is the first step in the process. You'll have to hold all questions until after. No dog bowls were used. Pretty cool? Johnny and I decided no crazy freak out paint job. It's gonna be two-tone, blue and white. You know, blue fenders with a white hood and roof. Now I need to figure out where those parting lines are. There was one point of concern between Johnny's drawing and this car, and by putting the base coat on, you can see the line. It makes it clear as day. Really digging this blue base coat. What it does is makes every body line just pop. Look at this line. Look at this brilliant reflection of the highlights. You know, that didn't exist with the primer. So we were unsure as to what was going to happen with this tape coming through this area. It may seem like Johnny and I have already covered this, but the thing is, this body is representing its own shapes independent from the artwork, so I have to follow the line of the actual car. Gotta look right with the car, and this is the moment to make it happen. This is the end result, you know, this is what you see, so, you know, whatever it is, it's just gotta be that showstopper. The problem with the fair weather friends, namely the shop inspectors, is they got all the motivation in the world for about 10 minutes at a clip. The whole thing with any of my projects, it's not outside of my means to just, you know, farm out the whole paint job, but, you know, I want to do just like all the old timers, you know, all the legends of customizing. You know, I want to build the entire thing straight through. I'm a glutton for punishment, and the only way to punish yourself properly is to do everything yourself. The thing about a tape job is when you're shooting a straight line, you can use a rigid tape for around the corners and whatnot. You need a vinyl tape. I got this 3M product and it works perfect. After the lines are figured out, you know, it's time to mask it. And this is a fairly basic two-tone thing, but you know, it's easy to get dyslexic, especially side to side. The most important thing is to remember what stays blue and what don't. So I'm just gonna start by working off this little area. So this was one thing that I thought was pretty neat about Johnny's idea. But I'm gonna one-up that just a wee bit. It just needs a little tweak to the front of the roof line. The way that the white parts with the blue, I feel like it would just be better accented if the white was just a panel on top. That way there'll just be that little hint of blue right there, and then that's white. So this is one thing that was kind of a breakthrough with Johnny, was this interesting thing on the hood here. This blue comes through and it does like a roller coaster over the dashboard, up and around. The hood and the roof cap are white. There's a white side graphic, but the car is basically blue. These lines are defined. You know, I just need to get the white paint on and then see what comes next. I got the white laid out. I put some silver flake on top of that, and it's got 3 coats of clear. What do you think? Pretty sparkly, huh? The whole concept with this is like fantasy show car, right? So I just want to spike it up one notch, you know, I want the whole thing to shimmer. Even though the white looks great on its own, you know, the metal flake really does its job. Well, I'm real happy with the way the silver and the white came together. I was a little concerned that the car would go silver, but it's totally white for sure. Let's take off this tape and see what it looks like. The dogs are pretty nervous because they understand the importance of a clean break once you pull the tape line. And, you know, I'm not known for being so meticulous. So let's pull this tape off and see how it looks. It's like scratching an itch. There is a tremendous satisfaction in seeing these tape lines peel back. Everything looks tight. You know, the contrast is right where I want it. The deadline I'm trying to make is 3 weeks from yesterday. There's a great show coming up, and I think it'll be a perfect place to take this for its first time out. Barring any major issue, we should be able to make that deadline. But again, it's always a coin flip. A major issue could arise at any moment. Oh yeah, that's pretty rad. That two-tone worked out good. It really adds something to this C-cab shape right here. I think this is my favorite part of it. The way that the white just comes forward, so you have these 2 stabbing lines. The panels needed to have a little more action than the body was affording, and by just freestyling some tape, it really adds to the line of the car. The lines are lining up. This is rad for sure, but something about the front view is just super white. Saying of, you know, every action has an equal and opposite reaction stands true even in this case. As spectacular as the white has come out, what it's done is totally dulled down the blue. As awesome as it looked with a blue base coat, now the white is just popping, and the blue almost looks like primer again. Needs a lot more action for sure. The blue just looks like a matte finish now. Front on view, it's just lacking a little something. See how the sunroof will break up the big white panel in the roof? I almost feel like the hood, those two awesome shapes, the two bulges in the hood almost disappear. It's like the sunroof in the top. The windshield is gonna break up this massive panel of white on the hood. Yeah, see, all of a sudden it's a different view. I don't want to overdo the paint by any means. I just want it to match. So right now the blue and the white are not cooperating. It really just looks muted now by this brilliant two-tone. It's looking like two different cars right now. The windshield definitely helps out this white panel in the front, but not 100% convinced. It looks like I'm gonna have to come up with a few other solutions for this issue. I got an idea for the blue. I'm gonna try a little more paint work and see what it looks like tomorrow. I addressed my two main problems with the paint. I added blue to the ridges on the hood to break up the white panel. You know, I really bumped up the value of the blue with 2 tones of metal flake and then a gang of clear coat on top of everything. So now it's really starting to shine. I got the gas cap in, the portholes in, you know, this car is really starting to take shape. But I think the design could use one thing to further the whole effort.
Color combo came out nice. I like that blue. It makes the white pop. It looks really nice.
I brought in my friend Gilbert to add a little graphic element to the rear of the fenders, and I think that's gonna just set it off perfect. My friend Tom Flores, he's done a lot of graphic design work for me, so I had him and Gilbert get together on this project. Tom came up with a font as per my specs, and Gilbert's gonna transfer that to a real live paint work on the car. The background of work that I've seen Gilbert thriving in is like, you know, strict lowrider stuff. So he shows up in this red Volkswagen Bug. I used to get a lot of flack for being into VWs.
Oh yeah, I still love Beetles. I got one, a brand new old one right there.
There you go.
It's a classic.
You know, he's talking about how he's excited to get involved with something outside of the parameters that I've seen him working in.
I started out building Volkswagen, so
That's me too.
I'm all about it, man.
So you're the right guy for the job. I think it's really important to be versatile. You know, he gets stuck in one niche, and I think I would stagnate, so I build a lot of different styles of cars. All I'm saying is the whole vibe of this thing is like the funky 70s, so whatever you like.
Well, bottom lettering, man. Can't get more 70s than that, unless you bring Scooby-Doo in here.
That's it, man. That font is perfect, dude. Exactly. I was thinking a decal. Gilbert is gonna one-up it, handmade.
So then what I'll do is I'm gonna silver leaf these, let them set up, and then we'll do the turn, the engine turn, so they have, you know, a little twist, and then I'll outline it, do the drop shadow.
While you're doing that, I got a little upholstery stuff to take care of, so if you need anything, I'll be 2 feet behind you. I'll be right over in the upholstery shop. The main issue here is Jack is my upholstery guy, and he went and moved to Chicago, so I'm left without any resource. I don't even have a sewing machine. All I could do is pull from the experience and working with him and try to get something done. Honest Ian's Full Custom Upholstery. Our tagline is, when mediocre is just what you need, call us. The last project I saw Gilbert working on was the silverleaf design on the side of the Riviera that Victor and I built, and I was just blown away. I've never seen the process before, and Gilbert makes it look like a walk in the park. So that I want on the car, for sure. That's why I called him. So what color will you pinstripe it with?
I'll do white around this. Around the silver is gonna be white, and this drop shadow is gonna be like that powder robinette.
Cool. Thing is, it wouldn't really be 70s if it didn't have like that drop shadow in the font.
Hey, did Victor ever redo the Rivvy? Did you guys ever figure anything out with the taillights, how to put them in there, or what style he was gonna do, even if he was gonna run taillights?
No, we haven't figured anything out. It seems like everybody's been asking, you know, the last project you and Victor did, that Rivvy, you know, was never settled. So what did you guys do with the taillights? He's a bundle of ideas as usual, but that's the task. We're gonna figure out how to finish the car. People are asking me like I could possibly know what's going on in Victor's mind. And that's basically what the inside detail is. It'll have this little miniature hatch.
That's nice.
Oh yeah, totally. Oh yeah, look at the view from here. It's exactly what it needed. Different than anything I've seen, it's perfect. Your job is done here. I'm feeling really good about this paint job, but there's a whole other issue I have to approach next. Just like with the paint work, I modified a couple things and I'm seeing this huge issue with the fabrication aspect of this. The fact is, you can't get in the car. How is a person gonna get into this thing? There's gonna be a window here. It's just, looks great, it's a nice toy, but you gotta be able to get in it. This is a pretty big deal, but now is the time to address it. There's only a couple options. I do not want to cut this body or hinge the roof or anything. It's got to remain intact as one piece. The car's got no doors, but it's got to open somehow. So if you got to make something open, you start with a hinge. So I made one giant hinge. The chassis, everything it takes to drive the car, seats, steering, everything is on the floor. And the body just picks up off of it. People hop in and the body shuts. This is kind of hairy for me because this is basically a live performance in front of the world. But the benefit of it is, if this works, the whole car is going to be open like a clamshell. This is vintage fiberglass. We just did a ton of work to it. The last thing I need is for the body to flex and crack. It's completely painted. I've got hundreds of hours into this finished paint job, and now I'm stressing the whole structure in a way it was never designed to. As strong as this fiberglass body is, where I'm grabbing it with the hinge doesn't have a lot of structure. So I've gone underneath with a lot of heavy steel and bracing and really reinforced around the whole firewall of the car. This is something that is being done by necessity, but it's pretty dicey. The thing about these dogs is it's like instinctive, they can tell when the pack leader is stressed. He can sense it. This is his way of handling things. One thing I need to keep reminding myself is that inspector does not equal assistant. Did you hand me a wrench? Business as usual. You think fiberglass car and you think lightweight. That's not the fact with this body. As petite as it is, it's still pretty darn heavy. So I need something with some serious lift capacity and extension. I got these two big hydraulic rams. So I'm gonna put these in and hook them up to some air and see what happens. I don't know where you would get these new, but they're actually a part of my old city bus. These two rams were the main lift mechanism for the wheelchair lift. All right, so everything's hooked up. This is the make it or break it moment, because I'm sure this has enough power to just rip itself apart. I got the rams hooked up to the air lines. I'm gonna test it with air because that has less power than hydraulics, but it's still got a lot of power. So hopefully this lifts with 150 PSI. I'm feeling like a big question mark. I don't know what to expect. Let's see what happens, because this is not an exact science. First try, no dice. Let's see what's wrong. Something is completely bound up. In kind of quick troubleshooting this, I realized that the body of the hydraulic ram has just been forced into a static position by this round tube. Problem was, these need a little room to shake. At least it didn't rip the whole body apart. That was the other potential, was that the body stays still and the rams go right through the roof. Let's see what happens this time. So if anything goes wrong, I want you both to go that way really fast. Get ready. Yes. Hey, it's the simple things that thrill me. That is totally cool. Just like you want to see, this thing pops open, like perfect. I was expecting anything, maybe one hinge breaks off, the thing kicks over to the side, there's an emergency recuperation moment. You know, I was ready for it all, and nothing but what was supposed to happen happened. Look, it's my greatest achievement ever. Can we show some enthusiasm? They've seen it all. They're so jaded at this point. But one thing I wasn't considering is these rams being right in the way of the seat. After this great achievement, I still wonder if I'm able to get in the car. That was why I did this. This on itself, this sold the effort for sure. Now all I gotta do is figure out how to get in the car. This is not a sprint, this is a marathon. Marathon with hurdles. We just jumped one, but I could see a lot more on the horizon. There's one thing in my entire career I have always wanted was a hot rod Volkswagen engine. And now it's in the house. Today is D-Day. We're gonna fire this sucker up. Tom says it runs great. The famous last words are always, it ran great when we parked it. So I just asked Tom, what's your emergency contact phone number? What I don't want is a backfire. The only thing I could say about this, as with firing up any engine, gotta have oil pressure, your spark timing has to be on point, and then you gotta make sure you have good fuel delivery and a fully charged battery. And this engine should pop right off. It should. The primary difference here is comparing, say, a garden lawnmower engine to a top fuel dragster. Same concept, wildly different parameters. I just love the look of this engine. Definitely got the cartoon feel. Done all my systems check. I got the oil pressure up, all the electrical parts are making contact, the switch is working, the fuel pump has power to it. So hopefully this doesn't go the way of that Harley. Or that Model A hot rod. Just gonna turn the key. If there's one thing I know about cars, anything that can go wrong will. That's why I've prepared for this. This is for the rafters and the roof. Really hits the fan. Where's that fire extinguisher? Fuel pump on. Yep, that's what I was talking about. And sure enough, like Montezuma's Revenge, one turn of the key and there's just gushing. I mean, not a leak, a gushing flow of raw fuel. Seems like a pretty big leak because it is. Hence the high flow fuel pump. That's what it's supposed to do. It's a high performance engine, it needs a lot of fuel. I know these cars and they hate us. The last thing they want to do is run. But the thing is, I am in no way a master engine builder, but I am a troubleshooter. In a perfect world, I will just tap on that with a small hammer and the problem will be fixed. Anybody that knows carburetors knows there's a little float bowl in there, and that's most likely to cause it. Tap on the carb a few times, and I'm hoping this simple fix addresses the problem. Otherwise, we gotta take this carb apart. Now, with the key turned on, there's no fuel gushing out of the engine. It's time to fire it up. Turn the key, and it starts, just as it was advertised. I love the sound of Volkswagen engines. It's pretty wild with the blower on it. You see these things expanding, it's breathing, which you don't see in a normally aspirated car. It's pretty awesome. It's like a heart. There's no backfiring, there's no nothing but a strong running, clean sounding engine. So this was a major what if, one thing for sure is that it runs, and that is, quite frankly, that's a blessing. That was the wild card in the whole operation. The car show's coming up literally 5 days. We're down the road. The body's off, it needs to be color sanded and buffed. There's no interior, there's no gauges. There's a lot of stuff that has to get wrapped up, but we're one step closer. As the statement goes, the devil is in the details. Well, this engine and transmission is a great step, but the finished work is what's really going to sell this concept. A little while ago, Victor and I went on this crazy Riviera adventure. We built this custom lowrider. In the end, Victor could not come to terms with a decision on what taillights it should have, and there it sits, still incomplete. Victor knows that I'm in the middle of this crazy project of my own, but he's constant on his endeavors, and he says he's made a decision. Can you just break off for one half a day, help me out? I need to get this car on the road, and we can get that thing finalized. I gotta say, it's highly unorthodox to completely finish a car and then cut the holes for the taillights, but here we go again.
In my defense, I figured out what I want to do.
Good, because it's time. As you know, it's up in the air as to what Victor's thinking, so let's see where we're at.
First option, my friend smoking a bandit's car, Firebird. I'm thinking of maybe two of those. I mean, it's definitely out of proportion.
It's a hard sell, man.
Wait, let me sell better here. Better sell. Figure I'm taking this off, so we're going to here, right? And it starts on this side. Look at.
This is the wild card situation I was bracing for. Anything that is heavily modified can work.
That's just option one. We'll look at this and then we'll go to option 2, option 3, 4, and if I have to go to option 5, I will.
Making a decision means different things to different people. The decision he's made is that we're gonna make some decisions all day long. It's good to know you made your mind up. You're down to 5 maybes. The upside of this is, plenty of options mean we're not gonna get pigeonholed into just use this now, let's just get out of this. I could see where you're going with this. This is a good base, but maybe we got something better.
Option number 2, I'm seeing these two like this.
Option 2 is a very different choice from the Firebird lens. Victor's envisioning them to be doubled up, to be Frenched in, like a flush mount. I think it's just too busy. I think, in the end, you're gonna have 8 taillights.
Yeah.
I think it only needs 2 taillights.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%.
So there you go. No bueno. Let's see what Victor has in the rest of his bag of tricks.
Check this out. Bought them at a trucker store.
You're that guy that goes in for a cup of coffee on the road and comes out with 16 different taillights. I know your type. I'm constantly running these cartoon scenarios in my head, so I see Victor pulling into the gas station, explaining to his wife, "I'll just be a minute, honey, I gotta use the restroom." Victor's going through the taillights frantically, watching the clock. He's gotta get back, but he still needs those lights. How many taillights does this car need?
I wasn't sure what I wanted and I wasn't sure how many I needed.
Once you take this wrapper off, they're pretty snazzy. This is an option because it kind of goes in line with what we're doing. It would work. That's kind of interesting.
Maybe we don't put the chrome on it and we just use the lenses and pop them through.
I mean, the idea of the taillight being that wide and only 1.5 inches tall totally fits it, but just those oval holes, it's like you're not seeing anything round on the car. That's the only issue I have. We're moving right along. We're narrowing this down, but as long as you're not plagued by indecision, things can go well.
And I got 2 last options.
2 last options.
This is the last one, but together, they have to go together.
Those are cool.
Right.
So it's that flavor, but
Yeah,
you got the
same
chrome.
flavor.
It's the same deal as what you're doing with those other 8 taillight deals. These are looking good. The chrome bezel is what sells it for me. I'm sick of all this tape, man. We got to get something permanent established.
And I guess I'm committing to this because you're drilling in my damn car.
As soon as I hear okay, I'm on it. And then we'll double them up like that.
Yeah, pretty much it looks like it's there.
The thing is, this will look much different once it's Frenched in.
It'll have the look we want. Right now, it's just like paste it on. Okay, Ian, I'm good. I'm committed.
All in all, I think you're making a good decision. Houston, we have a decision. Let's get to it.
Look at another angle too. We were looking at it in the back.
Just
You
said
know,
no
every
more
car
changes.
has different angles.
You just said you were
You're
committed.
not just looking at it in the back angle.
How did you ever walk down the wedding, the wedding aisle when you say I do? How did you ever come to that point when you were that freaking, that dead set on something? Just say I do and let me put the taillights on. I know how this process goes. You gotta strike while the iron is hot.
Ian, wait a minute. I found these.
No, we already went through that.
Or these.
No, that's gonna require a ton of work.
For these. Hey, when I buy lights, I buy lights.
Because they're ovals, I used a step drill both sides, and then cut across with a little miniature air saw. And always, the thing about fabrication after the car is painted is you're gonna have a color change if you have to respray the panel. And that's what we're trying to avoid. Feeling good about our choice. Now it's just a matter of getting these installed, hitting the boulevard. Finally got this Rivi on the road. Taillights are in, everything is attended to, it's looking good. Thing is, I've never seen this car really drive. You know, it was delivered to the car show, it showed, and it went in Victor's garage, so seeing it out in its natural environment is pretty darn cool. All right, man, finally, we have a decision. It's looking good, it's driving good, it's got taillights, come on.
That's a wrap, baby. Look at that thing, huh?
Finally.
My old lowrider days, I'm actually at the park that we used to hang out at.
I know.
My name is carved in that tree over there.
Victor's totally excited because that's what he does. He drives his cars, you know, all 50,000 of them. So 50,001, it's on the road, he's rolling.
I got the car I always wanted. With the tail lights, you finally figured out. It's about time. I
Took a
couldn't
while.
believe it. Awesome.
Yeah, they totally fit the car too. I'm right in line with Victor's love of low and slow. You know, that's cool. I'm not a race car guy. I love the rear bumper dragging. It's my kind of ride. The facts are, in California, if you want to drive your car on the street, you gotta have taillights. There they are. They're subtle, understated, legal. I love a car that it looks like it's impossible to get the rear tires off, and he accomplished that. Chalk this one off as finished, right?
It's
no more
complete.
changes.
Simple, subtle. You know, look at that car. It's beautiful.
Nice to have another project completed, but I got my work cut out for me back in the shop. And time's a-wasting. The next thing I need to get together is this rear hatch. When Johnny and I mocked this thing up, you know, we've changed just about everything. The rear hatch is gonna have to undergo the same process. This jumble of parts is actually the rear hatch from the camper shell. I've cut it apart and narrowed it because it's gonna go right back in, just smaller. The ultimate trickery in this is making it look like it belongs there. So this jumble of parts will become a functioning rear hatch. First step of the process is to just cut the parts down. I always leave them a little bit big and then trim to fit. If you had to create this from scratch, it would be pretty challenging. The aluminum extrusions, the hinge, So by modifying this already production part, you know, but to the point where nobody recognized where it came from, that's the trick. This is worth it in the end, and the same reason you would put trim around a door frame. It just finishes it off. Instead of a hole in the car, you got this cool factory-looking access point. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. I like that. The main thing that I'm doing all of this fitment for is that the original camper shell had a glass back window. I'm gonna use acrylic back window, but there's another feature in there that, you know, the aluminum frame is really gonna set off the look. Johnny Jalape's got a thing for these yellow windows. So I got this full sheet of acrylic. The one issue with it is it's so fragile, I need to keep the white wrapper on. The yellow window is a pretty daring choice, but you know, Johnny's sketch showed that, and I thought it was so cool, you know, just to bring this third color element into the car. This goes in just like the wood, and I'm gonna have to do some riveting, some gluing, etc. But for all intents and purposes, this is the design. So basically this design stays through to the end. I gotta do some other behind the scenes work. I'm gonna make it all fasten from the inside as much as possible, and the plexi will be glued in place. Yellow acrylic is really cool. So cool, in fact, I'm gonna continue the theme right to the front. It's gonna be in the porthole, it's gonna be in the sunroof, and it's gonna be in the windshield. It's gonna glow. The blue, the white, and the yellow are just, they work perfect together. Got 4 days to accomplish the impossible, and I still have a bunch of ideas I haven't even tried out yet, so What could possibly go wrong? There's a lot of hours in the day. We're gonna make it. The key ingredient in any build is pre-fitment of all the things before you paint it, but the car's painted. It hasn't really been fit up mounted on the chassis. You know, I gotta put the gauges in, the windows, etc., and it's all just kind of like a one-shot deal. I have a strict punch list to get this thing assembled and driving, because that's what it's about. So the whole thing about deadlines is you're thrashing to the end. Took it out to the desert for a shakedown run, and it is really something. It's way cooler than I ever expected. This yellow acrylic just totally brightens up the whole thing. These cool side pods, they're in development. To get them in place and painted really changes the side view of the car. I mean, it's really cool. This car checks out just fine. I'm interested in going to the car show, having a good day. Gene Winfield has this car show every year. It's the Winfield Watson Gathering, and it's not a judged car show or any kind of ego thing. It's basically just a house party with cool cars. So we had to get there. This year, Gene couldn't make it to his own car show. He's got a medical issue, he's out of the country, so I just wanted to be sure I was here to represent, you know, show him we're coming to his place no matter what. We're in it for the long run. Tom came back down from Washington State, and he's checking out the car for the first time in paint, and he's totally jazzed. He's a pretty animated fella, and he seems to be thrilled with this thing.
It looks way more crazy than I ever imagined it would be. When I first saw it, just the yellow against the blue and the flake in the paint with the sun on it just really stood out and grabbed your attention right away. Oh, and that gap in the windshield just looks cool.
Want me to start it? Tom hasn't heard this engine in a while, and now with this new exhaust, it sounds better than it ever has. He's really charged up about it.
Dude, that thing sounds incredible. It'll be fun to drive. We'll take it out for a test drive later on and see what it does.
This is good. I mean, the thing is, with a car this crazy, you never know how people are going to react. You know, Tom is really stoked on it. And as it turns out, this buggy is going home with him. Did a little horse trading, and it's all good.
We had about 6 or 7 hours of intense negotiations with the shop inspectors, and we were able to come to an agreement that may or may not have included a couple cases of dog treats. Coming out to the Winfield show, I haven't been to this show before, and it's just cool seeing all the 50s customs, and it's just like you're stepping back in time.
The thing about this car at this show is it's kind of the odd car out. You see the lineup, you know, it's got the Merc, it's got the Packard, it's got the Jade Idol, it's got this other amazing wagon, you know, 50s customs, and then this weird cartoon Dune buggy right in the middle. You know, Gene is known for doing really out-of-the-box stuff, you know, risky, taking chances, so that's why this car fits in here. It's funny, because some older dudes that I've met have walked right up to me and are like, I knew this was your car. It's like, what are you talking about? For some reason, people understand that this freaky style was coming from this guy. In typical Cacho style, Victor and his entourage are on the scene. Oh, did you see the Sterling dashboard? This is all the Sterling.
Oh, shit. Everything gets repurposed around here.
You don't know that I go into your shop at night and I just start taking stuff off the shelf.
Only Ian will pull something like that off. It's like everything Ian does, I mean, you gotta see this car. And I'm not a Volkswagen guy. That thing is bad to the bone.
2.5 now, 275. I got 2.5 right there.
Victor's a player. He's always in the mix. They got this charity auctions going on.
This is a really, really incredible piece. And this is a carving of the reactor out of a solid piece of wood.
And you know Victor's not going home empty-handed.
6 now, 6 1/4.
I'll go 6 1/4 too, right?
I got 6 1/4 now, 6.5. That's 6 1/4 now, 6.5.
This car is running, it's driving. Tom's got the keys, and I got one more surprise.
Oh, dude, we're totally taking this thing out. We're looking forward to seeing what it's gonna do.
One thing that needs finalization, but I really needed to show to Tom, was how this whole body lifts up. Instead of doors, now the car is a door.
Dude.
So that's the thing, dude. You show up at the car show, nobody's got this.
Dude, this is crazy.
He wasn't expecting that. You know, if you see a picture with it up in the air, it's one thing, but to see it on the ground, and then by the time it's up, you know, the rear fin is like 8 feet in the air. It's a really crazy show car.
Oh, that is sick. That's ridiculous. That was just, wasn't expecting that. And made it easy, accessible to get into, which was nice, especially at my age. Not flexible anymore. Picturing myself driving into a show with that body, just pop it up, drive into the show, people are just gonna freak.
Tom's like, I gotta get in there. I gotta drive this thing right now. All right, man. Now I want you to know 2 things.
2 things.
This is a really mean machine. This is not your father's Volkswagen.
Basically, my instructions were go straight, go fast. If something's in my way, turn.
This is his first time sitting in the car, and he's excited. It's a very tangible experience. You're in this little shell with this roaring engine behind you, and it feels like a race car.
It's pretty crazy to drive. I thought it would be difficult to drive, not being able to see through the windshield or something, but you can see right through the plexiglass, no problem.
So we're on this big, long stretch of road, and Tom just keeps going. I thought he's just gonna do a couple turns. Okay, great. So he's gone.
And the car totally blows me away. Yeah, and seeing Ian work on stuff, the guy's just a machine. He gets to image something in his head, and he just works almost 24/7 until that thing's completed and done the way he realizes it should be.
When he finally pulls back in, he's all smiles. Cool, man, what do you think?
Oh, dude, it's perfect.
Yeah.
I'm gonna scare the crap out of myself in this, which is awesome.
Yeah.
It's no fun if you're not.
This thing has come full circle. We started with this crusty old blue Dune buggy months ago, and look what we got now. I mean, working with Johnny, it's like a sure thing at this point. I always know we're gonna come out with something really unique. But then Tom upped the game with this monster engine and his other help. It's really something. I mean, it's vying for position in my top favorite car. So, I mean, in finalizing this project, as difficult as it is, there's no way I'm ever gonna restore a car. This is just, I'm down the road to the next crazier project, and that's just what I wanna do, the art-inspired show cars. One thing we didn't accomplish in time for the show was the interior, the upholstery, and Honest Ian's custom upholstery only goes so far. I wanted to take it to the next level. You gotta call in the pros. My mediocre upholstery was only mediocre. So we're always striving for the best. Finally pulled Jack out from the frozen Midwest. I got him a sewing machine, put him in a motel. It's like slave camp. He's not leaving until it's done.
Sweatshop.
It's a sweatshop.
Like a sweatshop, yeah.
So it's just a full custom sweatshop right now. Jack's an old friend of mine. He does the upholstery on all of my cars, so he was the go-to guy, and here he is. We're gonna finish this thing proper.
Oh, Ian said that his upholstery wasn't making it, so he called me up and said he needs some help, so here I am. I flew out, and we're making diamonds.
Diamonds, baby.
Diamonds are his best friend, That and metal flake paint.
Yeah, exactly. You see the Dune buggy. Now are you finally convinced that metal flake paint works? And it is a truck, if I dare say.
Well, that's really not a truck. It's a Dune.
It's got a
truck,
camper shell.
Yeah,
it's got a camper shell.
But
it was a pickup truck.
It's not
Dune buggy.
officially a truck.
I don't know. I made these panels in the back. What Jack decided was we're going to put an insert in there with a diamond stitch. So these guys are made from the same panel, just recovered, and these things push through, so they're puffy. Jack then stitched this diamond pattern in the old school seat covers to match also. This project needed stitch work. Jack's the man for that, so here we are, getting it right in the end. I think the worst thing you could do is just get stuck in your lane, you know? This is what I do. I'm meticulous. I'm the best in the business. That's not me. Ed Roth said it. Big mess, big success. Let's get dirty. My friend Ken, he's a car guy. I've known him from way back, and he called me about this new project.
Welcome to the Orange Empire Railroad Museum.
Yeah, I'm all about new projects.
Man, if I got something for you, bud.
Ken's been telling me about this train museum he's a member of, so when he called me in, I didn't know what to expect. When you say museum, I'm thinking about like a room with, you know, maybe little trains in it. Look at this place. It's like a whole environment.
It really is.
I met Ken a while back at a car show dedicated to the art and life of Big Daddy Roth, and we've been friends ever since.
I'm an animation director for animated films and volunteer here at the Orange Empire Railroad Museum. There's something about being in the film industry or being in animation that makes you train crazy.
This is like a real old-fashioned railway.
Yeah. Oh, and just tons of projects, tons of trains, streetcars.
Signs, the freaking building.
It's a big toy box for rail fans and railroad guys. I wanted to bring Ian in and show him around, and before we took him to show him the project, I just wanted to whet his appetite. So I've got my buddy Ken over here, who's a huge fan of the show, which I figure I'd warn you first.
Okay, so it's Ken and Ken.
Ken and Ken,
double trouble.
We're a franchise.
Okay, hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, man.
You know, Ken can give him like the best tour of the property. And he is the guy to show him around, have some fun, and then we'll show Ian the project.
And what's this run on, coal?
No, this is just our little electric cart
no
here.
rails on this one.
No bells or whistles on this
I'm
one.
more familiar with rubber tires.
Yes,
so
yes. Well, no, and now you're going to get familiar with the rails.
This place is sort of like Disneyland, but with a private behind-the-scenes tour. I thought I came out here to look at a car project, and all of a sudden I'm getting schooled on every form of train concept there is.
Before they had hearse and stuff to go into the cemetery, this is what would take your departed into the cemetery.
What a way to start a tour with somebody's last ride.
Yeah.
I understand trains, right? But these guys are like super rail fans, and they know everything about everything. Oh man, so this is a crane that's a train. It's one thing to have a collection, but the fact here is that everything works. Oh, it's on.
And there we have, well, our lights are on now.
It's like a giant model railroad, if you will. Look at all this stuff. This is my kind of place. They even got some shop hounds. Look at this.
Yes, those are our...
The quality control. I can see he's already checking us out.
Yeah,
we're clear.
sure everything's all right.
We're accredited. We have a history with K9s. Oh man, I've done a couple big truck projects in the past, and I don't know what you're thinking about with these, but they are right up my alley. Something tells me we ain't seen nothing yet.
No, we got something for you. This is our other project, the 508 from San Diego.
1937. No wonder they want to make America great again. What do I have to do to this one? Chop the top? You want to lower it a little? Oh man, look at this thing. Whoa, this is super old. It's crazy cool.
What do you think of that?
Unreal, it's like a giant toy train.
Yeah. Well, this is like the Ward Kimball collection. Ward was one of the 9 old men at Disney. He was like one of the great animators and directors they had over there when they first started. He also got Disney into trains back in the 30s, and that's why there are trains at Disneyland, and we have examples of that here. This Chloe is actually a full custom garage type build. He did to this what you do to cars.
These guys are fanatics, and they definitely want to immerse me in the entire rail experience.
But this isn't really the reason we brought you here, bud. I need you, so come on with me.
Finally, all the suspense has led up to this.
What do you think?
That's right up my alley. I mean, I don't know if you heard about it, but this is what I do.
Yeah.
This is the iconic classic Ford pickup truck, you know, model AA, the bigger truck, and why it's in a train museum is beyond me. Looking to get out of the train business and into the hot rod truck business.
Yeah, well, you know,
Perfect.
I finally had a car project in the barn.
It doesn't look like a complete truck from this vantage point.
Well, it was a complete truck when we rolled it in here. It had
Okay.
everything.
Oh,
I mean,
I
it's
see.
all here in
and
pieces. We just came to a point where we needed Ian.
I mean, it's not too far gone for sure. I work with much rougher things. This is right in my reign, man. It's totally
Yeah, but
cool.
the thing is, dude,
Yeah.
we want to make this a train. We want to make this a rail truck. We want to put it on the tracks.
Hey, I think it could happen.
I mean, it's not a hot rod, like 4 wheels and out you go. This is such a one-off and such a weirdie. And I'm like, nobody can do this but Ian.
So what's the gimmick? You need like another
Train wheels.
train wheels
We gotta put-
on the pickup truck.
Yeah.
Like the little engine that could? I think I can. This isn't a restoration by any means.
No. This
is
needs to
gonna
look like
need-
it sat out in the Nevada desert for the past 90 years.
You pretty much want a rail car that acts like a flatbed truck.
Absolutely. I don't have to worry about Ian because I know I just, here's the welder, here's the grinder, I'm gonna go make cartoons, bye. Right?
That concept is awesome. I mean, I love the idea. I just don't know how the heck I'm gonna do it.
I'm not worried. There's actually a picture somewhere that we're gonna dig up. We're on the hunt,
Okay.
but that'll be pretty much your only template.
Okay, it's a first, that's all I'm saying. I'm gung-ho. I could, shoot from the hip. But,
You need a challenge. You can't keep just keep these hot rods and hopping around, you know. And if you're worried, the exit's right there.
Right. He's the answer, man. Okay. Now I get it. I'm called in because the impossible needs to be made possible. All aboard for the full custom train build. We'll see how this pans out. Usually when I see a project, thinking 10 steps ahead of what I'm about to do, we're opening these doors and I'm drawing a blank.
Good morning, Grizzly Flats, huh?
We can get this thing out of the way, then we'll have plenty of room to get in and get the bed off.
I don't know if we can, but you can.
The awesome part about working in this train museum is you get the full hands-on, behind-the-scene access. It's just super heavy duty.
Yeah.
It's like, why does the door need to be that strong? Give it a little juice and let her warm up. They're letting me try everything out. Yeah, I gotta say, I never expected to ever drive a train, but here we are. My brain's been spinning, man. It's a pretty major task, to put a truck on the tracks. It's very clear that that axle doesn't fit. So just like you back half a race car, you cut the back of the chassis off.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna do the same thing with this. As if you were tubbing a car, we're gonna narrow the frame rails and do major surgery on the axle.
I was really, really pleased that he didn't flinch. He didn't do this. We didn't know what we were going to get from me when we showed it to him because he wasn't really prepped all the way. It just pulled him, and I was so happy to see that.
In simplest terms, that truck is this wide and the tracks are that wide.
Get the Sawzall out, rock and roll. When I was on the hunt for this truck, I would look at a couple of trucks. And the owners of the trucks would be like, so you want to cut my truck up and make it into a train? Get out of my yard. It's a no-holds-barred thing. And we're not restoring an old truck. That's not what we're here for. We need a functional rail truck.
Cut through here and here, narrow it, and then just like when you're boxing a frame for a V8 engine or something, plate this right through. That ain't going anywhere.
I knew that once he started, we were in really, really good hands because he immediately went to the old hot rod stuff, boxing the frame and trimming everything down. It's hot rodding, but it's also railroading.
The goal for me, because I'm a truck guy, right, not a train guy,
Yeah.
I want it to be a truck with train wheels in the back. That way your engine, trans, and axle, drive shaft is all Model A. If you can locate the wheel and axle set you think's appropriate for this,
Sure.
We can get started.
Yeah, no problem, man. We'll take care of it.
We are not building your average train, This place is an awesome museum. We're gonna build something in line with the caliber of stuff they have, like a full custom rail truck. Let's get dirty. So, it's 5, 15. We need to narrow this thing 15 inches. You figure a truck like this, 1928, and it's 2018, that's 90 years old. Some people might get nervous. This might be the cringe moment. The only way to get started is to cut it up. don't have a chassis jig, so I'm gonna set up something that's as square and frame-worthy as possible. This frame jig would never be adequate for a race car or even a street car, but it doesn't need to steer, it's on rails, so it's gonna work. The main challenge here is just keeping the thing square and attaching it as it was where it wasn't. It's exactly what it was, it's just narrower. This was the easy part. The challenge is still on the horizon. After my first task has been accomplished, there's nothing like a little criticism to step things up. Check this out. A little different than the typical hot rod project. It looks like a truck, but it's actually a train. This is interesting. I'm not hearing a word of opposition. I guess they're okay with it. Speak of the devil, here he is.
You just got here, come on.
Yeah, well, that's
How
what
cool
I'm
is
saying.
this?
We're gonna bust this right out.
Beautiful, man.
Little nip and
really,
tuck.
really slick. This is from the State Railroad Museum. There's the truck, buddy. Is that cool?
That is freaking cool.
And you've
Whoa,
already done.
Look at that. That's nuts.
You've already done this. I mean, you've already brought it in.
I knew Ken had a real strong concept of where he was going with this project, but I was kind of in the dark. This photograph illustrates perfectly what his concept is.
They did what they could with what they had on site. This is a great merging of our railroad knowledge and Ian's hot rod knowledge and his fabrication knowledge. Sort of what we're recreating. It's a truck from the last days. There are things we have to do, with the motor that we have. This is the actual motor out of the truck. The driveline's the same. Nothing's gonna change. It's just that, that's the train guys. That's us. We're just gonna see. I mean, that's a lot of tonnage to move. As far as Ian goes and the project, if you can make the photo for us or anything close, we're good, we're golden. We're not even gonna paint this thing. I want it to be a rolling tetanus shot.
If you want to look like that, we can do it for sure.
That's what we want.
Right.
And the good thing is, I found a wheel set out in our yard.
Awesome.
So if you want to come out, then we'll get it over here and we can mock it up.
Look like train wheels,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah, they're freight car wheels.
Oh.
What we'll do is we'll do what the railroad does. We'll put it on the turntable.
What the heck do you got going on here? That's like a giant freaking bridge.
Yeah, and you're gonna push it.
From the full tour of this place, the behind the scenes, to driving the train, Ken's like, no, we're not going to just put the wheels over there. You're gonna see how the turntable works, and we're gonna direct it down the lane and then back into the shop as the train would roll. Totally cool.
Yeah.
Oh, look.
Look at this, dude.
Ta-da.
Oh, yeah.
That looks like the photo. It's a truck on train wheels. This wheel set, as it is appropriate for the vehicle. It totally works, but mating this to the Ford axle is where the challenge begins. Those train wheels are sitting way inboard on this axle. So if you guys can help me out, I need to get rid of these tires, this brake drum, and these wishbones. Ken and his crew are gonna break down and prepare that axle. I got a million other things I'm thinking about to get started with, make this project happen, so, onward and upward. I came in pitching them every idea in the heavens about how radical a train truck we could make. I was like, massive rear tires, all raked down, super slick, maybe like flames on it, who knows? And as we're walking out the door, everybody smiles and Ken's giving me the pat on the back. Yeah, Ian, just make sure it looks like the picture. Look at what they're doing here. This stuff is like world-class, high-end history. They want this rail truck, a work vehicle, to go in with their collection. The thing is, the client always gets what they want, so I have to embrace the challenge of making their dreams reality. What we are doing here is a strict, period-correct piece. I'm pretty honored that they have faith in me as a fabricator to pull that off. This is straight up home-built hot rod stuff, Joe the blacksmith was like, hey, let's put that pickup truck on the tracks. Everybody's having a cocktail in the evening. They're like, well, it's got 4 flat tires. Let's do it. We're gonna face the same gauge issue with the front axle. You know, it has to be narrowed, but before we get into that mechanical aspect, I wanna create the visual statement of the rest of the front of the truck. This fender situation, as much as I love the look of it, it's just not what this project calls for. Glad I brought my pickup truck, because I think these might be coming to my shop. Just like any other project, you know, this thing has a deadline. The museum is having an event, it's Christmas season. They want to include this rig in their Christmas lineup. Time is of the essence. Silver Surfer. It's time for a little parts gathering. I'm looking for a few things. I'm looking for some rods, looking for some angle, I'm looking for some plate. Not only does the stuff have to fit the look, you know, it has to function. It has to feel like it's old and crusty. I mean, it takes a trained eye to really spot what you need. So you got angle iron, flat bar, heavy duty, but that's what we need. We need one of these in here, like a 1/2 inch thick. You know, Ken told me if it's too big to carry, duh, he could just send the forklift over, and I'll grab some of the smaller stock. This is like shoe shopping, you know? What style looks the best, what style fits. This is exactly what's on the drawing. This matches the turnbuckles, this diameter. Driving around this place, I mean, there's potential everywhere. You know, there's a lot of train parts, but there's a lot of other awesome sauce. Oh man, this thing is toast. Got totally burned up. You know, I've done a hot rod fire truck, and this would be an awesome contender. Come on, look at the cool factor. Should have brought the hellhounds. There's talk that there's an 11-foot witch that guards the property. But if you navigate just right, you'll find the leaf springs you're looking for. Next stop, the Enchanted Forest. Take a lot of courage. Those woods can get dark. We'll have to move fast. Run. Let's get the heck out of here. I think we can outrun her. You can feel those eyes looking right through you. You got nothing on us. We're fast. Power of the electric vehicle. This is a dangerous job, you know, in more ways than one. There's 2 leaf springs right there. Oh, this is exactly what we need. See that? They got eyelets on both ends. We got the rods for the front cow catcher. We got leaf springs. Got some angle iron, we got a line on the plate, and we evaded a giant witch. I'd call that a successful outing. You're gonna trip out when you see this. I ordered some really heavy steel plate from the museum guys. You know, they have a forklift and a torch. I sent them my measurements, and it's already here. I measured the outside as wide as those running boards, so once it's on the truck, I got stuff I can work with. Yes. Now we're getting somewhere. Ta-da! For the last part of this adventure, you see this going right in here like that. So this is just the base. You know, this plate, as heavy and complex as it was, is just the start of the whole look of the front end. Right now, it's starting to look like that picture. Well, all right, got a couple things buttoned up here, you know, sort of mocking up what I'm seeing in the photo. The only thing I'm seeing that is gauging the width of these front fenders is that headlight bar. Making sure the proportion is right is the critical element. You know, that's the big challenge of this. First thing I have to accomplish is assembling the headlights, and then I can build the cow catcher. Thing is, this truck came into the museum as a complete vehicle. Ken says the parts are all here, they're just stashed around. Hopefully he has 2 good headlights. Otherwise, it's a knuckle sandwich. Christmas is in full swing in Grizzly Flats. People say it's a complete car. I'm like, oh yeah, I've heard that. Oh cool, look at this windshield. Headlights. Groovy. That's what I'm talking about. Without those, we're kind of stumped. And then the gas tank and the hood. Perfect. And the light bar, there it is. Stock headlight bar, headlights, hood, gas tank. So yeah, it's a complete truck for sure. Seeing that these parts fit up is a relief, you know, it frees me up to do what I need to. So really the visual aspect is the task here. Headlight bar is pretty much smack center in the grill shell, so I need a riser. I need something to come up off of that flat plate. That headlight bar was made to bolt to that bracket. Look at that angle. I have no way of accurately measuring the photo. It's kind of like a perspective issue. So by fabricating the parts on the vehicle, it gives me a good gauge just visually. You know, if it looks like it, then it's gonna work. Totally looks like a truck, but it's a train. That's what it needed. Gives me a perfect gauge on how wide this front end should be. With the headlights and the grille in place, starting to get a feel for what the dimensions are. The next challenge is figuring out how to make that front cow catcher look as convincing as what I've got so far. This is a little bit of a different workout for me in that typically I'm looking at something and then doing my own thing. Now I'm trying to replicate something. And the challenge is cool, but I still get to do my own thing because I'm choosing the materials and how to go about it. And it's actually a bit of a relief in that there'll be no body work on this. There'll be no sanding. The great thing about this job is that not every car guy gets to build a train. You know, who gets to build a cow catcher? I gotta make this cow catcher catch cows. This is our canvas. It's all about comparison with the picture. You know, before I set up this cow catcher rods, I'm already seeing a difference. The air gap here is looking different than what I'm seeing on that photo. I'll drop it an inch. That is ready for a collision. Now we gotta figure out the layout of these large rods and then bend them. So I'm laying this thing out, trying to do it at an even number, and the more I'm thinking about it, I'm like, wait a second, this is missing a rod. Look, there's no rod here. This one is clearly at the end of the angle, and there's nothing there. The truck in the photo is missing a rod, one of the vertical uprights. It's not there. I'm building it like the drawing, but just because the photo shows some damage, you know, missing pieces, doesn't necessarily I'm gonna build it as bad off as that vehicle was. That's one. I don't want it to look damaged. Something don't look right. Yeah, the whole character of this truck is this front cow catcher. It's way out of proportion. Okay, here it is. So I'm looking at this truck because I'm this tall. I'm looking right in line with the top of the windshield. This viewpoint is looking at the truck like this. I'm trying to judge the photo by the shadow that's cast on it and the angle that the lens was set. You know, I'm standing here at 6'2" looking at the thing. It's a completely different angle from the way the camera was positioned. I think I'm gonna have to take a little artistic license on this. Don't tell anyone. This will be our little secret. I really want that cow catcher to be a little more prominent. Let me raise the truck up 4 inches. This is all just winging it. There's no hard measurements on anything. It's just gotta feel like it looks. Yeah, so I raised it up a little bit and that's what we needed. So obviously, according to the picture, these things aren't straight. They're pitched forward in a V formation, ready to catch cows. So we gotta make these look like that. First step, set up the acetylene torch. Pow! Nice hot stick. Put it right there and give it a bend. This is old school metalwork, you know. It takes fire to bend metal. That's what I'm talking about. Full custom blacksmith. This cow catcher's really taking shape, you know. It may be the best cow catcher I've ever made. I got one more idea that'll really sell it. I got the front of this cow catcher in a pretty good spot. They were saying that they're fine with this crashed model, but I just can't bring myself to do that. I'll make it a little bit nicer, and then if they want, we'll smash it. But I gotta get this lower portion on to really sell the concept. The last element of the cow catcher is this lower beam you see in the photo. The front end modification is the primary visual thing, you know, that takes you into that train truck experience. You know, there's no roadmap. It's just look at it. It's like it's kind of kicked up. It's definitely been in a collision. It's definitely been used. And, you know, you're really just using all of your senses. As much as it is fabrication, it's total art. Who put these frickin' train tracks in the shop? They're in the way of everything. Okay, same thing on this side, just a mirror image. So the last step, I may do more like this, but that photo showing these rods coming through, actually being bolted together, and I don't have that luxury. So I came up with the oldest trick in the book, the old fake rod scenario. Sometimes tricks are exactly what you need to make things convincing. You know, this hardware is all bunk, but I gotta make it look like it counts. Me, coming from a sculptural background, I worked in an art foundry, so we were doing bronze castings of literal mechanical things. And typically there was hardware presented, but you know, in a bronze casting, it's all one thing. So we would fake welding nuts, screw heads, rivets, etc. to these sculptures. This is basically the same idea. So instead of trying to source out some old hardware that works, which probably doesn't exist, I'm just gonna put these on, and hey, it looks like threaded rods. Check. This thing is looking cool, just like it would have been on the rail line back in the day. Now with this in place, I want to trim the fenders and just get the whole look of the front end cemented. And you can see from the start, you know, I started with that massive plate and just tailored it to fit the dimensions of the real truck. Really satisfying to get this part of it squared away. This is the aesthetic I was really going for. You know, it looks like the photo. The next challenge is getting these train wheels under the rig. The next part of this project is getting these train wheels to literally mount to the forward rear axle. This is going to be a pretty big issue. I moved the body over to the side. I got a couple ideas on how to get these two pieces to mate up. There's train parts all over the place. So I'm cruising around the little buggy they gave me and I come upon this other wheel set. In the past, what someone's done is taken this truck rim and welded it to the train wheel, which is great. That's a step in the right direction. The downside is this bolt pattern doesn't match the Ford at all. These don't just bolt on, but I have a plan. So this rim is actually perfectly smooth, but you see these bolts, which is good, and then there's a collar that extends back to the actual train wheel. My plan is to simply make a wheel adapter spacer using the Model AA truck rim and these already modified train wheels. This isn't just a pile of stuff here. This is a jig. You know, this is science. So I've come up with a blueprint, set the train wheels up with these parallel bars and the axle in there, and you can clearly see that the truck axle is way wider. We need to be at this distance, and that gives me my dimensions. Science. I think we should go over to the machine shop and do something scientific. Plan is to get out of this building and into a better one, a little more appropriate for what we're about to do. Like everything else that's huge around here, they have a giant machine shop with everything we'll need to do this. Based on my calculations, I had the fellas gather up some of this big tubing. This is 10-inch diameter tube. This is gonna be our offset for the wheel adapter. But one thing I know is the center of this rim is in the wrong place. I gotta take it out, and this is our dimension. Unique, like me. That could be said, it's a great statement about this place. We're all here because we're not all there. That's exactly the piece I need. The whole thing is that when this thing's rolling, you don't want it to be slopping around, you know? It's gotta be fit up properly. All right, so let's take a tour of this fantastic facility. The thing about my invitation here is it's like all access permitted, you know? So I've been scoping this room out and it has all the tools I need. Man, if I had this shop, I don't know. I would finally build that UFO, I think. Sheet metal shear, 10-foot sheet metal brake, massive drill presses, 1, 2, 3 lathes. Look at that drill press. I can't stand it. But this is where the magic happens. This building is designed for heavy metal, and I can't wait to get cutting. For those not in the know, a lathe will come in many shapes and sizes, but basically what it does is it spins you right round, baby. Right round, like a record, baby. Right round, round, round. This lathe is gonna do exactly what I need. It's gonna make a perfect fit up between the wheel hub, the spacer, and then the new train rim. So in the end, see, instead of that big torch cut surface, you have that nice, perfectly machined, centered disc. I can't weld to this rusty surface. See, I made it so it's darn close, right? It's just about perfect. So now I'm gonna put this tube up in the lathe and cut a nice machine finish on this. These two, that perfect fit. The whole thing is this fits together like a puzzle. So once you get one piece set, you put the other part on, cut it to match, and then assemble it. All right, this next step is some heavy metal. So fortunately, I have an assistant. Moving these wheels around is like a four-man project. Fortunately, they have this big gantry that swivels, so I could pick the piece up right off of the cart and put it on the table. So what you don't want to do is stand underneath that thing. These fins have got to come off. This ring has to mate up with that surface. So just as we set up the top side of this, we set up the bottom side of that. Coming off of this, we're measuring down to the rim face. Bada bing, bada boom. I'm just gonna tack it in a few places, put it on the axle and test it. You know, once I got it welded up, put it back on the crane, carted it over to the shop. Fortunately, my friend Jeff is there to help me muscle this wheel into place. All right, that's that. Getting this thing on and in place, you know, I kind of wanted to see it roll. You know, that's what this thing does. Now it's the moment of truth. Like butter. This is a big part of the build. You know, I've been sweating this from the onset. This was the uncharted territory, and here it is, a sigh of relief. It won't be fully true and tested until we go down the rails, but this is the first step in solving the problem of the vehicle not having any wheels. So that's a good thing. We got 2 wheels, 2 more to go. I'm gonna do the same thing to the wheel on the other side, but we really have to figure out this front axle, you know? That's a whole different style. The train has not left the station. You're getting down to the end of the road, or rails as it may be. We got all hands on deck. The whole Grizzly Flats crew is here. The mechanics are on hand. Everybody's pitching in to get this thing finished. Looks pretty loose, but we're making progress. Time is of the essence. The whole task with this project was to get the truck to look like the photo. What I need to do is get this front axle in place and get the truck on the rails. The whole crew is on lunch break, and while that's happening, my lovely assistant and I have the ability to get this thing on the wheels. This has to look like the picture. So once I got all the machine work done, I put these wheel caps on and weld them in place. So now it simulates a solid wheel. All my calculations proved solid on the rear end. The wild card at this point is the front axle. It's come in late last night, and now I need to figure out how to attach it to this rig. The shop up past Fresno, California called Hillcrest, and they custom machined this front axle. Just looking at it was a relief to see that it was already engaged. You know, it was as wide as the track needed to be, so no modifications. I got my buddy Jeff on hand. He's gonna help me get this thing in place. So looking at the picture, the thing that's determining our proportion is this shackle in the front is looking like it's attached just about where the headlight is. Found these leaf springs out on the back 40. I'm thinking about the same thing as I've done through the whole truck. You know, scavenger hunt, grabbed every part I could find, that looks old and looks like it fits the photo. So we don't have U-bolts, so we're just setting up a series of 2 plates that will grab this box. The thing about springs like this, as it stretches, it gets longer. So this shackle always makes it go back into place. It's kind of like an inchworm. You see this hanger here? That's coming way down, and the spring is actually up here. So I'm gonna have to create this leg that comes down. I need to make sure that this thing rides straight on the rail. So I'm measuring everything I can, just as I would, you know. We don't have a chassis jig. I'm trying to do it off of the frame, upside down. This is yoga for mechanics. I gotta say, that's pretty well hung. I always try to keep things lighthearted, you know. I'm shucking and jiving, talking the talk. Sometimes the assistants, you know, this is his first thing, you know, and I'm talking about deadlines as well as making jokes and keeping it lighthearted. Taking some caffeine to steady my nerves. Some people are a little bit more concerned than I am, apparently. That is a good cup of coffee. Drop her down. Pink. I try to just keep myself as focused as possible, and who knows what's coming out of my mouth while it's happening. It's ready to rock. The only question is, does it roll? What's not to like about that? Oh, it's such a victory. I gotta say, just getting this thing on 4 wheels, I feel good.
Definitely works. It's a train truck.
Let's get everybody in here and slam this thing together. There's still a ton to do. You know, I'm looking forward to seeing this on the tracks. You know, just like everything in the shop, when it's outside, it's a whole different thing. We got this train truck thing out the doors, and it's looking good. I gotta say, it's pretty fulfilling to see this thing sitting there on the tracks. Their mission of me following the photograph, I think I accomplished it. The use of all the old parts, you know, the scavenger hunts, everything lends itself to this look. The way all the fabrication is, you know, everything is torch cut, it's rusted, it looks like it could have come out of the mine. When you stand back and look at it, you really get the vibe, you know?
It's a gift. It's such a joy to have this here at Grizzly Flats. You really, really did a terrific job.
For using absolutely, I mean, no new material besides the front truck, right? That's it. Everything is out of the yard. It worked out great. The last hours of this were just details. I found a bunch of scrap wood, made the bed look like the photo, a couple other things in the front suspension. I loved that dump bed so much, so I retained that exactly as it was, but it's all custom. It's all narrowed out, C-notched, and super strong.
You hot rodded it.
Exactly,
Yeah,
100%.
Oh man, that is so cool. So basically the back of the truck now is hot rod technology and railroad technology together. He's made this fusion, which is amazing.
I'm super proud of it, man. It's nothing I expected walking in the door.
The main thing for Ian was to come in and get him to do the fab work and match the photo, and he did it exactly. And it's wonderful. Just the look on the crew's face. They've been crushing that motor and transmission and everything. There's been working a lot of hours and everything else, you know, and you know, it just, The motor's completely rebuilt, transmission's rebuilt, everything's all set. We had a faulty head gasket. And when you're running with Ian, it just takes one thing and you start to drop back.
You know, working with any antique thing, there's a million things that can go wrong. So they had an issue with the head gasket last night. We're gonna have our test run with the assistance of old Smokeless. I'm getting in that thing. This is an antique vehicle, so it's got all the clunks and screeches and everything. We are on the rails. Pretty interesting. It's a very tactile experience. There's no steering, no brakes, no throttle. You're just cruising. Man, this thing rides like it's on rails. I can't believe how it handles. It's kind of like having a chauffeur. Right turn, Jeeves, right turn. Just having you burn some calories for me, man. I did all the work this week. Somebody fix me a beverage. All's well in the world, you know. Did a couple of revolutions on the turnstile, and it's time to go back to the shack.
Will there be anything else, Mr. Michelle?
Take me home, Jeeves.
Country road. Hold still, don't go anywhere.
My takeaway from this is steam engines. I am in love with them. Now, you walk into the museum, so you see people dressed in their uniforms and they're really being the part of the whole train thing, and now you understand why. It is like super rich in history, and that's what the passion is.
I think he's got the bug now. I think he's got the train bug. Ian said he'll be back. My favorite part of this whole build has been watching Ian work, you know? For me, I got to be the tourist in the strange land of Ian. It was really, really cool.
All right, well, my job is done here. Put my cape on. And,
Almost.
wait a second.
Hang on 1 second.
But wait, there's more. Well, it is Christmas, right?
Yeah, it is.
Wow. Let's see what we got.
Let's see what you got. Let's see what you got.
Oh, man, of course. What better than that? Right on.
For the house, man.
Oh, yes. Exactly. Lo and behold, what would you expect as a gift from a bunch of train fanatics? That is rad.
Thank you, buddy.
That's totally awesome. Thanks, Jingles.
Merry Christmas.
Thanks, fellas. That's awesome.
Thank you, brother.
Cool, man. Right on.
Thank you so much.